Hi everyone, it's John Gualtieri here with this week's Power Shot. We're talking about the questions that we need to be asking, the things that we need to know before we even arrive at a listing appointment. These things we ask the seller, these questions we ask the prospect before we get there at that first phone interaction. And today we're going to deal with a little bit of a slippery slope, and that is whether or not the seller will be interviewing other agents. Now, we're going to talk about whether or not you should be the first one in, the last one in. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about that stuff on another Power Shot. But for today, we're going to be talking about how to ask that question, because you should be asking it. You should know whether or not you're competing for that listing. And don't make the mistake of thinking that just because this seller was a past client or that this person was referred to you, that you're not competing. Because I cannot tell you how many times in a given week one of my clients tells me they didn't get a listing because the seller was interviewing other agents and that seller was their past client. So I used to ask that question kind of covertly. And instead of saying, well, Mrs. Seller, will you be interviewing other agents? I would always say, well, Mrs. Seller, I'm guessing you'll be interviewing other agents. I would ask it covertly like that. You might think that asking that question that way doesn't matter. Guys, it fundamentally matters. So today's Power Shot takeaway is always know whether or not you're going to be competing for the listing. Not knowing that puts you at a massive disadvantage. So if you know anyone who might benefit from this week's Power Shot, please pass it on. And in the meantime, get out there, chop wood, carry water, and do it like you mean it. God bless.